Our story begins with you, GD, looking colder than your ex's heart, while a green-haired girl weeps over her friend's body. A blue-haired girl is completely lifeless, having decided that checking out of this world was her only escape. The crying girl screams in pure agony, asking GD if this tragic end finally satisfies his twisted desires. GD doesn't even blink, turning his back as a dark, ominous purple aura flares around him. He looks back with dead eyes, coldly reminding her that they brought this nightmare upon themselves. She holds her dead friend in absolute shock, realizing he has zero remorse for keeping them locked up. He lifts her chin with one finger, spitting facts that their own actions sealed their miserable fate. She slaps his hand away, crying out that they did absolutely nothing wrong to deserve this torture. GD just walks into the shadows, declaring that the conversation is over and everything is officially done. Suddenly, GD falls backward into a cosmic void, realizing he has just failed his sixth freaking regression. Once again, massive dragons are tearing the city to shreds because he couldn't stop the literal apocalypse. Standing in the burning ruins, he wonders if listening to that crying girl would have changed anything at all. A colossal red dragon unleashes a massive sea of fire, turning the entire city into a giant barbecue. GD clenches his fist as blue lightning crackles, activating his SS rank formless sword without a single regret. With one clean slash, he cuts a massive dragon in half, realizing failure is just expensive experience. He leaps into the air like an absolute badass, brandishing his glowing blue energy blade. He dives headfirst straight into a swarm of giant, angry, overgrown lizards. Multiple colossal dragons are instantly diced into flying chunks of meat by his insane speed. But the sky is literally raining meteors, and the system hits him with the ultimate game over notification. Suddenly, massive golden gears start turning as the EX rank grand clock decides to hit the rewind button. The entire world dissolves in a blinding flash of light, giving him one last spark of hope. The system announces a fresh start, and suddenly we are back in the modern world with confused citizens. Right in the middle of a busy street, a suspicious purple portal starts crackling with dangerous energy. Instead of running, these genius civilians walk closer to take selfies for their social media. One guy strikes a pose with a thumbs up, completely oblivious to the red-eyed monsters spawning behind him. A pink-haired girl watches in absolute horror as fresh blood splatters right across her phone screen. Grotesque monsters flood the streets, turning the city into a chaotic, screaming buffet. Portals pop up globally, unleashing armored knights, scaled beasts, and flying nightmares upon humanity. People are running for their lives as the narrator explains that humanity was about to get entirely wiped out. But hope isn't dead yet, as a mysterious woman stands over a beast, channeling beautiful blue flames. This fiery lady marks the beginning of a brand new superpowered era called the New Genesis. High in the sky, futuristic floating islands are built to gather the world's most talented young hunters. This elite academy city is known as the Lair, where future heroes learn how to kick monster butt. Meanwhile, a roisterous criminal holds a crying hostage by her hair, threatening cops with sharp ice spikes. The police surround the thug, Joe Hoshik, who screams that he'll take the girl down with him. Out of nowhere, GD teleports right behind him, casually asking if anyone told him he could talk. Hoshik freezes in pure terror, unable to sense this absolute monster standing right at his back. In a panic, the thug tries to slam the hostage's head straight into the concrete. GD effortlessly dodges the clumsy swing and prepares to deliver a swift, devastating counter. He looks at the thug with dead eyes, calmly stating that he is not a soft cop. GD delivers an absolute nuclear punch to the guy's face, reminding him he is indeed the law. The criminal is left face down on the shattered pavement while a colleague tells GD to chill out. GD looks at his fist, apologizing for forgetting how insanely overpowered he actually is. Back at the station, the database reveals Joe Hoshik was a notorious human trafficker with superhuman powers. GD looks at the tied-up criminal like trash, while his colleague asks why he brought him in. GD casually shrugs, saying he just picked up some garbage on his way to work. His female colleague with glasses sighs in relief, thanking him for doing such a clean job. She blushes hard, suddenly realizing GD looks way taller, broader, and honestly kind of handsome today. Another male officer walks up, absolutely shocked that GD actually caught the notorious trafficker. He warns GD about police brutality, while GD realizes he doesn't recognize a single face here. Turns out, in his previous 6 lifetimes, GD never once bothered to actually show up for work. He drags the criminal away by his collar, telling his partner he'll handle the interrogation. We get a cute chibi flashback explaining that GD's sole mission is saving 4 baby dragons from dying. These adorable little hatchlings traveled from their home world to Earth just to experience true happiness. But Earth is cruel, causing the red dragon to go mad and the blonde one to suffer. The green dragon could only comfort the blue one as she literally stopped her own heart. And when baby dragons die, their giant, terrifying parents get absolutely furious. The adult dragons invaded Earth in a rage, wiping out humanity and forcing GD to regress. GD stood atop mountains of dead dragons, realizing brute strength alone couldn't save the world. For his 7th attempt, he decides to play babysitter, just as his colleague calls his name. She catches up to him in the hallway, shyly asking if he has any plans after work. She asks him out to a fancy new restaurant, but GD gives her a savage, cold rejection. He leaves her standing there completely speechless, casually announcing that he is flying to Europe. Next stop, Florence, Italy, a gorgeous city filled with beautiful canals and sunny parks. In a park, a lovely green-haired girl is happily placing flower crowns on little kids. She laughs and giggles, looking like a literal angel surrounded by blooming flowers. The kids wave goodbye as she smiles, completely unaware that GD is watching her from the shadows. GD steps out of the bushes, calmly greeting the unsuspecting dragon girl. She spins around in surprise, blushing as beautiful cherry blossom petals drift around them. GD looks her dead in the eye and tells her she is coming with him. She tilts her head in confusion while GD's translation skill effortlessly translates her language. She asks why he is looking for her, and he simply replies that they have business. He asks if she knows him, and when she says yes, he asks if she knows who she is. She smiles brightly and says his full name, GD, with perfect confidence. GD's eyes narrow instantly, wondering how on earth she already knows his name. She giggles and points directly at the giant, obvious name tag pinned to his chest. She laughs, admitting she was just pulling his leg and has no clue who he is. But she notes that he is terrifyingly strong and clearly doesn't belong in a peaceful park. She playfully asks if he came to assassinate her, and GD gives her a flat no. She asks if it's a kidnapping instead, and he admits that's actually pretty close. She then asks if he has weird dragon fetishes, making GD instantly tell her to shut up. He walks beside her, warning her that he will use force to protect her if she resists. He notes that the Green Dragon clan possesses eyes that can see the very flow of providence. We get a close-up of her beautiful, slit pupil eye, proving she is indeed a mythical beast. GD looks down at her coldly, hoping she will make the smart choice here. She smiles cutely, asking if he will treat her nicely if she behaves herself. GD agrees, and she happily tags along, knowing she can't escape him anyway. She winks playfully, demanding that he treat her like a very important guest. She holds up her pinky finger for a promise, while GD just stares at her in disbelief. Giving in, GD locks pinkies with her, officially promising to be a good babysitter. Later, in a modern apartment, the green-haired girl peeks shyly out from her room. Wearing nothing but an oversized white shirt, she wonders if her scary host is awake yet. She calls his name and suddenly spots a creepy, dark shadow materializing on the sofa. GD sits calmly as his SS rank skill summons a clone with half of his insane power. The shadow clone takes GD's form, bowing deeply and promising to obey every command. The clone greets her, leaving her completely mind-blown by how identical they look. GD tells her to ignore the clone since it's just going to do his police job for him. She walks over, amazed that he can literally copy himself to avoid going to work. GD looks up from his newspaper, stating his only job now is to keep her safe. She hops onto the sofa next to him, happily suggesting they make some breakfast. Hugging a pillow, she insists they eat together, but GD claims he doesn't need food. She pouts like an adorable child, saying it's boring to eat alone in a new house. GD raises an eyebrow, asking if dragons even need to eat 3 meals a day. She kicks her feet happily, explaining that eating delicious food is the key to happiness. She drags him up, declaring they're going grocery shopping right this instant. She flashes a mischievous grin, promising to show him the true power of a home-cooked meal. Cut to the exterior of S-Mart, a massive supermarket bustling with regular citizens. Inside, shoppers are whispering and staring, convinced these two are secret top-tier celebrities. She happily skips along with her shopping bag, while GD follows her like a tired dad. GD sighs at the mountain of groceries, but she points out his kitchen was completely empty. She runs ahead to start cooking, but GD tells her to put the food away because they are going out. She asks why, and GD explains they have one very important stop to make first. She giggles and apologizes, admitting she got way too excited about shopping. Carrying the heavy bags, GD tells her they need to get her some official legal documents. She just stands there with literal question marks floating around her cute head. Suddenly, a creepy bald old man with a cybernetic eye asks if she is his girlfriend. GD glares at him, threatening to pluck out his other eye if he doesn't make the ID card. They head to a counter where a clerk hands over a document next to colorful rings. She holds her brand new ID card, absolutely thrilled to be officially named UBOM. GD walks with her, wondering how on earth she survived on Earth with zero identification. BOM tilts her head, curiously asking why he chose the name BOM for her. He explains it means spring, representing the first of the 4 seasons for the 4 dragons. BOM smiles warmly, repeating her new name and falling absolutely in love with it. She twirls under the falling cherry blossoms, saying spring is the season that brings life to the world. She looks back at him, playfully teasing that he is still a little bit scary. A dark silhouette of GD appears under glowing dragon eyes, reminding her that he is indeed dangerous. She just smiles, saying she knows deep down he isn't a bad person at all. She skips ahead, boasting that her green dragon intuition is never, ever wrong. She turns around with a breathtaking smile, asking if she can stay by his side a bit longer. Watching her run, GD realizes he has never seen a green dragon smile in any past regression. He closes his eyes with a small smirk, thinking this 7th run might actually be different. The scene shifts to a desolate, rocky wasteland in Africa under the dark night sky. A fierce red-haired girl with a giant sword stands over a beaten mercenary, mocking his weakness. The mercenary screams in rage, but her heavy boot is already hovering right over his face. She brutally stomps her boot down, shattering his face and the ground beneath him. She looks down at him, teasingly apologizing for stomping so hard because he was just too ugly. She adjusts her mask, proudly boasting about her insane 199th consecutive victory. She grins with sharp fangs, eagerly wondering who her next victim is going to be. Meanwhile, news articles are blowing up about a mysterious vigilante called the Night Hunter. GD sits at his computer, reading the news and deciding it's time to hunt this wild dragon. BOM knocks on his door, calling him for dinner, and GD heads out to eat. On the table sits a horrifying dish of purple rice with 2 fish heads pointing straight up. GD stares at this culinary disaster in absolute silence while BOM waits excitedly for his review. She proudly explains she got the inspiration from a British sardine pie and paired it with rice. A close-up of the dead fish head practically screaming, "Kill me," makes GD question his life choices. GD sits down, calmly announcing they are going to find the red dragon tomorrow. BOM warns him that bringing Red back won't be easy because she is extremely stubborn. GD asks for her help to convince her, but BOM says meeting other dragons is awkward. GD asks why, still staring at the terrifying fish sticking out of his food. BOM looks down sadly, explaining that all the dragon clans want completely different things. A massive red dragon roars in a sea of flames, representing their obsession with war and violence. GD contemplates, knowing that if they don't secure her soon, she will end up dead. He warns that a powerful hunter is already tracking her down to eliminate her. GD looks at BOM, promising they can handle this peacefully if she just comes along. BOM smiles, finding it amusing that this cold man is actually asking her for help. She happily agrees to assist, admitting she doesn't want her fellow dragon to die either. She holds up a finger, declaring she has one absolute condition before they leave. She demands that he clean his plate, pointing out he hasn't even touched her masterpiece. Defeated by a plate of fish rice, GD reluctantly takes a bite of the culinary nightmare. Back in Africa, the red-haired girl stands victorious amidst a pile of defeated soldiers. She stomps on a soldier's face, yawning and complaining that everyone here is way too weak. She walks off with her massive sword, celebrating her 200th win, but feeling incredibly bored. She decides to visit the Green Dragon in Europe, while two surviving soldiers tremble in fear. The soldiers panic, realizing their entire elite squad was wiped out by a single teenage girl. One soldier grits his teeth, praying that their ultimate savior arrives before they get slaughtered. Suddenly, the red-haired girl appears right above them on the wall, grinning like a demon. The soldier screams in pure terror as she looks down at them with crazy eyes. She swings her massive blade, shouting that their time is officially up. But just as she strikes, a blinding golden light erupts from the sky. A massive golden energy slash blocks her attack, sending a shockwave through her arms. She is pushed back by the sheer impact, shocked by the insane amount of mana. She quickly swings her sword to deflect the remaining golden energy waves. The soldiers watch in absolute awe as she easily parries the legendary attack. Out of the dust steps Javier Karma, the high-ranking armored knight, identifying her as the Night Hunter. Ranked 8th in the African Union, Javier commands his men to retreat while covered in golden flames. The red-haired girl smiles, genuinely impressed by the sheer power of his entrance. She grins widely, thrilled to finally fight the actual boss of this region. Javier comments on how young she is, and she playfully asks if he's falling for her. She boasts that she wears a mask only because her beauty would distract her opponents. Even though her sword is chipped, she refuses to back down or surrender. A fiery red aura flares around her as she declares she'd rather die in battle. She charges forward at supersonic speed, leaving a trail of red fire behind her. Her red aura clashes violently against Javier's massive golden shield. Spotting a tiny gap in his defense, she prepares to land a dirty move. She aims a low blow and screams "Dick Punch" at the top of her lungs. But her fist hits solid metal armor, leaving her completely stunned by his lack of reaction. Javier looks down coldly, telling her she has clearly never fought a real opponent. Calling her wasted talent a tragedy, he raises his massive golden sword to end this. Javier leaps into the air, bringing his blade down with world-ending force. He unleashes his ultimate technique, screaming the name of his legendary sword. His eyes glow with divine light as he prepares to vaporize her. The red-haired girl crosses her arms, realizing she can't dodge this massive blast. A giant beam of golden energy completely engulfs her, tearing up the battlefield. She is sent flying back, crashing violently into a stone wall with a painful grunt. Javier lowers his sword, surprised she actually survived that direct hit by reinforcing her arms. He looks toward the settling dust cloud, sensing something is off. He realizes she vanished, while behind a nearby wall, BOM is covering the girl's mouth. The red-haired girl is shocked to see BOM, who whispers that she came to rescue her. They hide in the shadows, with the fighter asking how a weakling like Bomb plans to save them. She slaps Bomb's hand away, angrily telling her to stay out of her battles. BOM looks at her with dead seriousness, warning her that dying isn't just her own business. BOM uses her green magic to instantly heal the girl's broken arm. She smiles warmly, telling her she wants to live happily on Earth together. The fighter grumbles that the Golden Knight will catch them, but BOM says her guy has it covered. The red-haired girl looks confused, while BOM smiles, knowing GD is already on the move. GD calmly walks onto the battlefield, blocking the Golden Knight's path. Javier glares at the intruder, demanding to know who the hell he is. GD looks at him with complete indifference, casually replying that he is just a babysitter. Javier stands tall, completely baffled by the term babysitter. He glances at the hiding girls, noting that the fiery one doesn't look like she needs a sitter. GD sighs, saying it's too much work to explain and suggesting they both just walk away. Javier refuses, stating she broke the law, but GD points out she didn't kill anyone. Javier warns him to stop playing games, saying the girl's run ends tonight. GD's eyes turn icy cold as he asks why he can't just mind his own business. Irritated, Javier declares this area is under his jurisdiction and draws his blade. Covered in golden fire, Javier announces he is arresting both of them right now. He leaps forward, unleashing a massive golden energy slash that splits the earth. The attack creates a massive dust storm, and Javier looks on, expecting a victory. But GD is floating effortlessly in the air behind a flawless blue barrier, looking completely bored. He glares down at the 8th-ranked hunter, mocking him for being so incredibly uptight. Javier Karma turns around only to find our MC standing right behind him like a literal ghost. He panics and tries to summon his Sword of RA, but his hand gets sliced clean off instead. Blood splatters everywhere, leaving this masked loser completely defenseless and crying. GD stands tall, holding a dark blade dripping with blue energy, telling him to shut up and listen. GD stares down at the defeated villain, telling him he picked the absolute worst day to mess with a monster. He explains that because the guy couldn't react, he just lost his arms, his eyes, and his targets. GD points his glowing blue blade right at the guy's face, coldly promising he's going to forget everything. A system screen pops up, explaining that while healers can fix his limbs, this trauma is permanent. GD looks down with pure disgust as the masked clown groans on the floor with bleeding eyes. Meanwhile, the red-haired night hunter is watching this entire horror show with her jaw on the floor. BOM casually tells her he is just a human, but the redhead thinks she is a lizard if that thing is human. GD approaches the red dragon and coldly informs her she is living under his roof from now on. He walks over to the girls, promising the redhead all the freedom and support she could ever need. Suddenly, he stops and gives her a terrifying death stare, warning her what happens if she runs. BOM hugs the shaking redhead from behind, telling the MC that she is in shock and needs time to process. The redhead grumbles in a tiny chibi panel while BOM gives her the sweetest, most mischievous wink ever. GD keeps walking and casually names the redhead Urium, telling her to remember it well. BOM happily tells Urium she has grown so much, but Urium just screams that she is not in the mood. GD taps his earpiece, activating a dark energy device to report that the situation is finally cleared. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, the real GD sits on a log while a cute blonde girl runs around him. GD praises his clone's hard work mentally, deciding to finish up his business here before heading back. He realizes Urium is a wild beast, and sending BOM along was the best decision he ever made. The adorable blonde squats in front of GD, asking who on earth he was just talking to. He claims it was nothing, but the excited gold dragon smiles, teasing him for talking to himself. A text box explains that as a gold dragon who craves attention, she was once insanely popular. We see a flashback of her third life as a dazzling pop idol, singing her heart out on stage. But the text reveals that the dragon who stood out the most also caused the ultimate destruction. A red rose with thorns appears on a dark screen, reminding us that fame always comes with a price. That explains why she is hiding in the jungle, showing off her cool holographic bracelet to GD. She happily dances among giant sunflowers, amazed by the sharp screen she never saw in her past life. Her jaw drops when GD suddenly asks her why she is hiding out in this empty place. GD tells her that if she wants entertainment, she should live with humans instead of wild bugs. She freaks out comically, realizing he knows the green dragon BOM and probably smelled her scent. GD stares at her with a serious face, asking if she is actually terrified of humans now. The blonde twiddles her fingers nervously, admitting she isn't terrified, but she has some bad history. She remembers how creepy humans chased her with dark intentions, making her feel utterly helpless. She sits back to back with GD, trying to laugh it off with a sad smile while he stays quiet. GD suddenly breaks the silence by asking if she likes bread, leaving her completely confused. He raises his index finger, letting out a tiny spark of purple magic with a soft snap. He summons his pocket dimension, and a massive shadow hand appears, handing her a bag of fresh bread. The blonde opens the paper bag and literally screams with joy at the sight of shiny donuts. With her eyes sparkling, She asks if this delicious-smelling bread is really all for her. She squeals in delight, imagining a heavenly buffet of blueberry tarts and glazed donuts floating around. GD looks at the gold dragon and orders her to pack her bags and come with him. He promises she will be safe with her friends, telling her to enjoy life like her dragon siblings. She licks her lips but hesitates, remembering her mom's warning about not following strange men. GD casually turns around and drops the ultimate bait, promising to buy her macarons too. The gold dragon completely freezes, her eyes wide as she succumbs to the irresistible power of macarons. Cut to a modern luxury apartment building under a clear blue sky, where Yuriam is smoking on the balcony. She remembers the masked guy and GD, cursing under her breath about how humiliating the whole thing was. BOM watches her from inside the apartment, looking genuinely worried about her angry roommate. GD walks in with the gold dragon, who is happily chewing on a sausage roll from a scalafa. She takes another bite of the pastry and comically shivers from the sheer intensity of the flavor. Surrounded by flying macarons, she declares this crispy, soft pastry is a literal piece of heaven. BOM welcomes GD back with a warm smile, and he just nods while the gold dragon chews shyly. The gold dragon waves at BOM, who blushes with pure joy and welcomes her back after so long. BOM gives her a massive hug, gushing over how pretty she got, while the little dragon hugs back. The blonde asks how long she's been living here, and BOM points out that Yuriam is on the balcony. GD's clone welcomes his master home, and the real GD thanks him before dismissing him. Yuriam slides the balcony door open, staring at the new guest with a very grumpy expression. GD stands there holding the groceries while Yuriam clicks her tongue in pure annoyance. The gold dragon waves enthusiastically, greeting Yuriam by calling her red hair with a huge smile. She runs over to ask how she's been, immediately scolding her for smoking like a typical bad dragon. Yuriam loses her mind and grabs the blonde's mouth, turning her face into a squeezed little duck. She screams at her to shut up before she rips her beak off, making the poor dragon cry. GD sits down in front of the three chaotic dragons and asks them for their official ages. BOM happily claims she is 20, while the gold dragon raises her hand, shouting that she is 10. Yuriam rests her chin on her hand, grumbling that she is 16 and completely bored. The gold dragon brags that dragons grow way faster than humans, so they shouldn't be treated like kids. She asks Yuriam if her name is fake, and BOM explains that GD gave it to her. The blonde is shocked they already have names before their coming-of-age ceremony, expecting something super complex. She decides her name should be Gul, and GD nods, confirming her new name is Ugul. GD points at Gul's blue necklace and says that thing will be named Jul. Gul gasps, asking how he knew the necklace was actually Blue's egg, and he tells her to protect it. She is amazed by how much this human knows, but GD coldly tells her she doesn't need to know. GD folds his hands and warns the three girls that they must follow one absolute rule. He orders them to enjoy their freedom, but warns them never to cross the line or hide from him. Yuriam scoffs, asking if he is some kind of communist dictator trying to control their fun. The three girls turn into adorable chibi versions, staring at GD with absolute confusion. BOM stands up with a bright smile, assuming this means they can play around the neighborhood. She suggests they go out to get some fake IDs and shopping supplies since they live here now. Gul's eyes turn into stars, while Yuriam points out they have zero money and suggests mugging someone. BOM is shocked when GD suddenly tosses her a fancy leather wallet, telling them to go wild. BOM thanks him happily as he walks away, asking if there is a limit to their spending. GD glances back and casually tells her they can spend as much as they want. The trio goes on a massive shopping spree, with BOM pushing Gul in a cart while Yuriam follows. Meanwhile, GD's watch explodes with endless bank notifications, showing thousands of dollars spent until his card declines. GD stares at his tablet on the couch, while Yuriam checks out a new wooden sword. BOM apologizes nervously, admitting they went a bit overboard and couldn't buy him anything due to the limit. Gul runs over to GD, begging him to look at all the cool stuff she bought. She strikes a series of cute poses, showing off her trendy new outfits with a proud smile. GD casually says it looks good on her, making Gul cheer while Yuriam watches silently. Urium gets GD's attention by proudly showing off her brand new wooden sword. She scratches her head shyly, explaining she needed a replacement since her old one got wrecked. GD inspects the blade and admits it's actually decent, making Urium smirk with pride. Gul starts chasing Urium around with clothes, begging her to try them on while Urium screams. BOM smiles at GD, telling him that Urium is just terrible at expressing her actual gratitude. GD looks at BOM, noticing her hands are completely empty, and asks if she got anything. BOM points toward the kitchen counter, revealing a single tiny flower pot sitting on the table. We see a close-up of a small, simple green sprout growing in a humble clay pot. GD looks at the plant and remarks that taking care of living things is a good hobby. BOM holds the pot gently in her hands, smiling warmly as she promises it will bloom. She stares at the tiny sprout, softly adding that this will be a memory they keep forever. BOM looks up at GD with a curious expression, mentioning she has one quick question. She asks him if there is a way to get the ultimate entertainment under his strict supervision. GD looks her straight in the eye and assures her there is a perfect way. He pulls out an official application for Lair Academy, asking the girls if they want to go to school. Sometime later, the girls return to the apartment at night, with Urium complaining about the long interview. Gul stops her friends with a look of absolute dread, imagining the worst-case scenario. She bursts into dramatic tears, crying that she is going to fail the entrance exam alone. Gul continues to whine next to GD, while he calmly praises them for doing their best. She clings to GD's leg like a koala, and BOM asks him where he went earlier. GD holds up a white paper bag, explaining he went out to get them a special treat. Gul's eyes instantly light up with stars as she sniffs the bag, hoping for sweet macarons. GD smiles faintly and tells her it's something she will love even more than sugar. On the TV screen, an energetic host introduces a legendary guest for tonight's talk show. The host welcomes the global pop sensation Baby Yellow, who winks at the camera with a smile. On set, the host asks if she knows the show, and she excitedly says it's the eating show. The host confirms it, showing 3 world-class chefs ready to cook her favorite meals on the spot. The host laughs, asking about the rumor that she only survives on morning dew. The idol giggles, denying the rumor, and starts thinking deeply about her absolute favorite food. The screen displays a mouth-watering image of crispy, golden fried chicken glazed in sweet and spicy sauce. Gul stares at the hot fried chicken with her mouth wide open, completely hypnotized by the smell. She declares fried chicken is her new favorite food, while Urium grabs a drumstick and digs in. BOM watches GD walk away, asking if he isn't going to join them for dinner. She blushes slightly, giving him a cute little pout to convince him to eat with them. GD walks out to the balcony to answer a call on his smartwatch from Lair Academy. GD confirms his identity, and the caller explains there was a small issue during today's interview. GD asks what happened, and the man asks if BOM didn't mention anything to him. The man reveals that BOM got a perfect score, leaving GD completely stunned. We see a flashback of BOM smiling gracefully in front of the amazed interviewers, who offered her the representative spot. GD asks about the offer, and the caller explains that the real issue is that BOM rejected it. The caller begs GD to convince her, but GD refuses, saying he will support whatever she decides. GD hangs up his watch as Urium walks out to the balcony with a toothpick in her mouth. Urium scoffs at BOM's name, asking if she is planning to play house at her age. She takes a puff of her cigarette, asking GD why he is sending them to Lair Academy. He tells her it's to give them what they want, and she replies she only wants a good fight. Urium slams her hand on the railing, staring intensely at GD as she demands a real fight. She smiles confidently, clenching her fists to see the true limit of his monstrous power. GD coldly rejects her and tells her to go finish her chicken, making her explode with anger. She flips him off with absolute rage, utterly pissed off by his boring attitude. Gul runs out, offering her a piece of chicken to calm down, but Urium screams in her face. Urium bites the chicken anyway, but her eyes widen as she realizes how insanely good it tastes. A graphic shows the official crest of Lair Academy, the world's most elite school on Heitling Island. The massive, futuristic academy building stands tall as students in blue uniforms flood the entrance. The narrator explains that the cadets here are the children of billionaires, royals, and global prodigies. Because of this, the school is constantly criticized for its toxic and extreme social hierarchy. Gul and BOM walk through the beautiful campus, completely amazed by how massive the school is. Gul jokes that GD must be a secret billionaire, and BOM agrees that he definitely looks like one. Gul cheers with her arms up, relieved that they all managed to get in together. She suddenly stops and asks where Urium and GD ran off to. BOM explains that Urium had to take a practical exam, and GD went along as her guardian. An infographic explains that adult chaperones must accompany students to keep these superpowered kids in check. BOM giggles, noting that Urium would be a public hazard without GD watching over her. She adds that Urium's department requires cadets to duel, and Gul excitedly suggests going to watch. Gul comically slumps in disappointment when BOM tells her they aren't allowed inside the arena. BOM explains it would look suspicious, while other students in the hallway whisper about them. Outside, the massive and imposing Sangtian Pavilion of the Blue Dragon School looms under the sun. Inside the pavilion, a fierce wooden sword duel is underway, with one student getting slammed to the ground. GD watches seriously from the stands in a sharp black suit, wearing his official chaperone badge. A mysterious dark-haired woman smiles, telling the other chaperones to relax so they don't stress the kids. An elegant man with long gray hair introduces himself as Wai Yuan, the head teacher of the school. Wai Yuan smiles warmly, welcoming the honorable guardians to the prestigious testing grounds. The other guardians bow respectfully, while GD just stares at him with cold, analytical eyes. The PA system blares, announcing the match between Candidate 124 and Candidate 7. Urium walks into the arena with her wooden sword, hoping this fight won't be a total snooze fest. She rests the wooden blade on her shoulders, giving her opponent a highly arrogant smirk. Up in the stands, the students are already placing bets on who is going to win. One student bets on Sofia Vorkova, pointing out she was already a pro hunter in Russia. A screen explains that RIL is Russia's brutal special forces unit from the Great War. The text details their horrific training methods that literally border on medieval torture. A massive, scarred Russian coach screams from the stands, telling Sofia everyone is watching her. He keeps shouting like a maniac, while Sofia walks forward, wishing he would just shut up. Urium mocks Sofia, telling her to run back to her daddy before she gets hurt. Sofia stops and glares at Urium, warning her to shut her mouth if she wants to live. Urium just grins like a psychopath, showing off her sharp fangs as she accepts the challenge. The crowd shivers at the terrifying aura of both girls, while GD watches with total indifference. The two fighters take their stances inside the cage, staring each other down with pure hatred. A massive red buzzer flashes, signaling the official start of the brutal match. Sofia lunges forward, throwing a lightning-fast strike aimed directly at Urium's face. She follows up with a rapid flurry of strikes, but Urium blocks them all with ease. Urium smirks as she deflects the blows, teasing Sofia that her speed is actually pretty decent. Urium swings her wooden sword in a low sweep, forcing Sofia to jump back to dodge. Sofia counters with a spinning kick, but Urium bends backward like a matrix dodge. Sofia's blue energy attack barely grazes Urium, ripping her brand new jacket. Urium snaps, screaming that she just bought this jacket, and charges like a demon. Sofia barely dodges the wild charge, feeling the terrifying wind pressure pass right by her. A spectacular clash of high-speed blows echoes through the arena as both unleash their true skills. They both leap back, creating a massive shockwave of wind that sweeps across the stage. Urium leaps high into the air with a wild grin, aiming a devastating overhead strike. Sofia crosses her arms to block, but the sheer force of the impact is absolutely monstrous. A sickening crack echoes through the arena as Sofia's arm bones shatter under the pressure. Urium smirks at the sound, immediately prepping another strike to finish the job. She lands gracefully, dodging Sofia's desperate counter, and slips right behind her. Urium looks down at her, asking if she really thought she stood a chance against her. She delivers a brutal final blow, sending Sofia flying across the entire arena. Sofia crashes hard onto the canvas, completely defeated and unable to move. She coughs up blood as Yoriam points the wooden sword right at her face. Yoriam looks down on her like a queen, holding her sword in a dominant victory pose. The referee declares candidate 124 the winner, and Yoriam laughs at how easy the fight was. Sophia stares up at her, trembling with a mix of intense rage and utter humiliation. Yoriam walks away, complaining that these elite humans are nothing but weak trash. The crowd goes wild, shocked by how easily the redhead dismantled a top Russian prodigy. The whispers intensify, with some students claiming Sophia was just overhyped from the start. Others sneer that Sophia is only famous for her looks and lacks any real combat talent. Sophia sits in the dirt, her face shadowed with pure shame as the crowd mocks her. The medic tells the coach that Sophia's arms are broken, and the coach nods grimly. Sophia clenches her fist, refusing to accept defeat as she mutters that it's not over. The coach kneels down, telling her she did her best, but simply cannot beat Yoriam yet. He assures her he isn't disappointed, saying this defeat is actually a valuable lesson. He explains that losing makes you stronger, but the medic suddenly gasps at Sophia's expression. The coach turns around in shock as Sophia stands up, looking completely unhinged and holding a knife. She grips the military blade as a dangerous surge of blue energy erupts from her body. Sophia screams at Yoriam's back, demanding she turn around because the fight isn't over. She lunges forward with a lethal, high-speed sneak attack aimed straight at Yoriam's spine. Yoriam senses the illegal attack and growls in anger, ready to rip this girl apart. Up in the stands, GD's eyes narrow as he watches the sudden turn of events. Sophia screams like a complete maniac, her face twisted in pure, murderous insanity. The entire crowd and Professor Waifus jump out of their seats in absolute horror. Sophia slams into Yoriam's back, dragging her through the air as blood splatters across the arena. Yoriam is holding a bloody dagger with a psycho smile, basically complaining that this girl really wants to catch these hands. Sophia charges in a blind, blue-tinted rage, screaming her lungs out while Yoriam just watches like it's Tuesday. Sophia swings a massive wave of blue energy, but Yoriam just casually hops back like she's playing jump rope. Yoink! Yoriam grabs her by her blonde hair, making Sophia regret every single life choice up to this moment. With glowing white eyes, Yoriam leans in close and whispers the sweetest promise, "You are dead." Boom. A devastating punch straight to the face sends blood flying everywhere. She keeps throwing hands with a glowing red eye, while the onlookers are sweating bullets, wondering if they should call the cops. Yoriam finishes it with a massive kick, sending Sophia flying straight into the cheap seats. And just like that, Sophia is out cold on the floor, looking absolutely battered and covered in blood. Yoriam casually yanks the bloody dagger out of her own ribcage, declaring she's just getting warmed up. Dripping with a dark aura, she promises to return the favor and stabs Sophia right back. Suddenly, this absolute unit of an instructor named Mikhailov grabs her arm, but she just yells at him to back off. Waifus immediately calls for an overlap space, pausing this chaotic interview before the room gets completely destroyed. Two mages quickly drop a giant glowing blue magic circle to warp the area. Yoriam drops the knife and complains, asking why he's only mad at her when Sophia started the stabbing match. She asks if she was just supposed to stand there and die, while he yells she didn't have to make a crime scene. She tells him to raise his daughter better, while Waifus steps in with a fake retail smile telling everyone to chill. He politely suggests getting her medical help while they look for whoever is responsible for this wild child. Yoriam yells that she's still furious, but Waifus calmly explains he can't let her ruin her own life. He warns her that making a scene might bring some unwanted trouble to her entire family. Leaning in with a creepy, dark smile, he whispers that he's talking about the Yu family. She instantly remembers Gul and Bomb happily holding a plushie, and the threat suddenly hits way too close to home. Gritting her teeth in pure frustration, she looks down while he asks if her family would be upset. He smugly tells her to wait for her guardian, but a cold voice interrupts, saying there's no need to wait. Ugidi casually walks straight through the magical barrier, announcing himself as her guardian. With a deadpan, icy look, he tells them to stop gang pressing an injured kid and take the talk outside. Yuriam just stares at him in silence, her anger instantly melting away now that her protector is here. Cut to the massive, high-tech academy building standing tall under a sky filled with glowing magic circles. Inside a fancy office, Yuyun serves them tea, claiming Taiwanese oolong is great for calming the nerves. He secretly studies GD, realizing anyone who walks through an overlapped space like a paper door must be a monster. He tries to search his brain, but realizes he's never heard of the Yu family, marking them as highly suspicious. Mikhailov sits there looking like a grumpy brick wall, while Yuyun tries to play peacemaker and apologize. Meanwhile, Sophia is wrapped up like a mummy in a hospital bed, complaining about her life choices. Yuyun sips his tea and suggests they settle this quietly since they'll all be seeing each other around campus. Mikhailov lets out a heavy sigh and offers to apologize first, introducing himself as Sophia's guardian. He blames it on Sophia being young and dumb, but GD cold blocks him, saying he's not accepting any apologies. Mikhailov slams the table in anger, but GD calmly points out that an apology from a bystander is completely worthless. Mikhailov beats his chest, telling GD to chill as fellow parents, asking if he even knows who he's talking to. GD looks at him like he's stupid, asking if people from his hometown always apologize with their chests puffed out. Mikhailov fumes, asking if he expects him to drag his half-dead kid here to bow, and GD just says, yes. Yuyun is sweating buckets, desperately trying to keep these two alpha males from tearing the room apart. GD explains he doesn't care about the kid, but wants to know why a top-tier instructor let her run around with a dagger. Mikhailov loses his mind and screams that the whole thing happened in the blink of an eye. GD just stares back with eyes that could freeze hell, calling his excuse absolutely pathetic. He asks if he's not embarrassed to blame his kid for his own lack of reflexes, and Mikhailov instantly grabs his collar. Mikhailov flares up a massive blue aura, asking if GD really wants to make an enemy out of his entire organization. He keeps barking threats until he suddenly freezes, feeling a cold piece of steel pressed against his windpipe. GD calmly holds the dagger to his throat, casually mentioning how sharp it is and how dangerous it was for Yuriam. He notes the guy's sheath is way too loose, while Mikhailov stands paralyzed, wondering how his high-level senses completely missed him. Standing behind him like a literal Grim Reaper, GD warns him to watch his step in dark alleyways. Mikhailov is sweating in pure terror as GD casually announces he's leaving since they're done talking. Mikhailov is left completely shook, while Yuyun just lets out the biggest sigh of relief in human history. GD walks away like nothing happened, with Yuriam following closely behind, looking unusually quiet. He asks if she's okay, and she shrugs it off as a scratch, boasting that red dragons are built different. GD says he's glad to hear that, while Yuriam just stares at him, processing her feelings. She keeps walking behind him and quietly asks if he also thinks she was the bad guy here. Looking down at her shoes, she admits she's been wondering if she actually messed up this time. She scratches her head, admitting she was mad, but wondering if she should have just let it go. GD turns around and reassures her she did great, but advises her to do the stabbing without witnesses next time. Hearing this absolutely unhinged advice, she flashes a bright, fanged grin, instantly feeling much better. She runs to catch up, warning him not to regret those words later, and he just gives a simple okay. He tells her to pack her bags the moment they get home, making her ask if they are going on a trip. He explains they are moving into the official lair, and she immediately imagines Gul screaming with excitement. Suddenly, Yuyun's voice echoes through the hallway, stopping them right in their tracks. He clasps his hands with a fake polite smile, asking GD if they can have a quick chat. GD tells him their business is done, but Yuyun insists it's about a massive opportunity for Yuriam. Yuriam plugs her ears, complaining about more nagging, but Yuyun says this is an offer she can't refuse. He looks at her and asks if she wants to be the official freshman representative for the school. He explains she'll get scholarships, legendary artifacts, and be the face of the academy on TV. GD narrows his eyes, questioning if a mere staff member has the authority to make such a huge promise. Yuyun smiles and mentions he's tight with Vice Principal Monam Jun, and GD's face instantly turns ice cold. As Yuyun tells him to think about it, GD's mind is racing, connecting the dots between these two. In that exact moment, GD realizes that both Waiyun and Ma Namjoon are actually demonic humans. Quick breakdown. Unlike normal superhumans who get blessed, demonic humans choose to embrace the absolute void. They are driven by pure, unadulterated rage, a desire to slaughter humans, and absolute lust. A dark flashback shows GD standing before a tragedy, reminding us of what he lost to these monsters in past timelines. In reality, GD has already simulated slicing Waiyun's throat open about 1,000,000 times in his head. Looking down at Waiyun's offered hand, GD has to use every ounce of his willpower not to paint the walls with him. He tells him he understands, secretly planning to make sure Waiyun dies the most painful death possible later. He states that the final decision lies with Urium, since he's just her humble guardian. Waiyun chuckles and agrees, turning his attention back to the fiery redhead. He promises her that the academy is about to change, and they want her leading the charge. He grabs her hands, giving her a warm, inspiring speech about building the future together. Urium looks at him with the most deadpan, disgusted face ever and says, "No thanks." Waiyun's brain short-circuits as he asks if he heard wrong, but she confirms he heard perfectly fine. She turns to leave, telling GD to go pack, leaving Waiyun desperately asking why she even showed up. She yawns and says she was just bored in bed and wanted to throw some hands today. Waiyun is left standing there, his face twitching as his entire soul leaves his body. Trying one last card, Waiyun tells her to look out the window. She looks down to see a massive swarm of hungry reporters waiting for a statement on the fight. He warns her that her future depends on his words, but she just waves him off and walks away. Waiyun watches them leave, his eyes turning pitch black as he whispers that they'll regret this. The moment they step outside, the pack of reporters spots her and swarms them like zombies. Shoving mics and flashing cameras in her face, they demand a statement, which instantly triggers her annoyance. A reporter shows a hologram of the fight, asking if she did it all for some cheap family clout. The cameras keep flashing as they ask why she even applied, making her vein pop. GD steps in to block them, but Urium gets a mischievous grin and says she'll give them a headline. She snatches a reporter's microphone right out of their hand, shocking the entire crowd. She smiles brightly, looks straight into the camera, and screams a massive, censored sex right into the mic. Cut to the gorgeous, high-class stone dorms of the lair, surrounded by beautiful, blooming cherry blossoms. Gul looks around with literal stars in her eyes, screaming in absolute awe of the place. She faceplants onto the giant plush sofa, completely mind-blown by how massive the living room is. Gul sprints up the stairs to claim the master bedroom, while Urium screams that the biggest room is hers. Gul peeks inside and her eyes turn into golden stars at the sight of a sunlit paradise. She immediately starts rolling around on the giant bed, loving the massive TV and the perfect sunlight. Smiling like a happy little potato, she declares this room is officially her new kingdom. Suddenly, Urium appears behind her with a cigarette, claiming she needs this room because the balcony is perfect for smoking. Gul throws a full-on baby tantrum, screaming that she called dibs first and the other room is bigger anyway. Urium just pats her head like a puppy, and Gul tearfully surrenders the room like a good girl. Meanwhile, BOM is sitting on the floor, gently misting a giant, spotted blue dragon egg with water. GD asks what she's doing, and she explains that blue dragons love water, so this is prenatal care. Quick dragon fact: when hatching time is close, the egg's polymorph magic automatically turns off. BOM turns to GD, mentioning that the entire community has been buzzing about Urium's wild stunt. GD looks at his tablet, seeing Urium's unhinged interview trending everywhere, while BOM holds the egg. Urium defends herself, saying everyone comes from it anyway, while a confused Gul asks what sex actually means. Urium leans over the couch with a devilish grin, asking Gul if she really wants to know. She smiles mischievously, declaring it's time for their innocent little chick to learn about the birds and bees. Gul's sweat drops and panics, screaming that her mom said she doesn't need to know such forbidden knowledge. Leaning in with a terrifying fanged grin, Urium tells her she has absolutely no right to refuse. She literally locks Gul's head in place, while Gul desperately tries to block her ears from the corruption. Gul screams in pure, comedic horror, finally crying that she'll listen if she just stops. She begs for help, but GD just ignores her, while BOM literally puts noise-canceling headphones on the egg. The next morning, Urium is fast asleep, looking like a peaceful angel for once. Suddenly, Gul kicks the door open, frantically shaking her because there's an emergency. Urium grumbles that she's exhausted from staying up all night, making Gul ask what she was doing. She smugly admits she was up watching spicy videos, leaving Gul completely traumatized and blushing. Gul drags her out anyway, while Urium yawns and promises to murder her if this isn't important. Urium looks over the banister, wondering why the entire household is gathered downstairs like a cult. BOM looks up and softly whispers that the blue egg, Joel, is finally about to hatch. They all gather around, staring in absolute awe as the miracle of life begins to unfold. GD watches silently, but his mind drifts back to the last time he witnessed a birth. A dark flashback shows a scarred GD in a ruined world, where new life was anything but beautiful. A bloody hand reaches out from the rubble of a collapsed building, begging him to save her baby. A mother weeps over a lifeless newborn, crying that her baby died the second it entered the world. GD remembers how the hospital was bombed, knowing that child could have survived with just basic medicine. Back in the warm dorm, he wonders why his brain decided to unpack those heavy memories right now. Suddenly, Urium gasps as a tiny, adorable blue claw cracks straight through the eggshell. A tiny, blushing baby blue dragon pops its head out, looking absolutely precious. BOM smiles warmly, welcoming the little one to the world while Gul's eyes practically turn into hearts. The baby dragon rubs its eyes in the shell, and they officially name the little cutie Joel. BOM wraps the baby in a blanket, and GD notes she looks surprisingly like an expert mother. BOM offers him a turn to hold the baby, but he declines, while Gul is literally jumping to hold her. BOM gently passes the baby over, warning Gul to be super careful with its fragile skin. Gul cradles the baby to her cheek, blushing in pure joy as her soul is instantly healed. She asks if Urium wants a turn, making the tough tomboy blush and act all defensive. Gul playfully shoves the baby into her arms anyway, while BOM tells her to watch out. Little Joel lets out the most adorable, tiny baby yawn in existence. Urium completely freezes up, her face turning bright red as she holds the tiny creature. Gul teases her, and after Urium admits she's cute, she tells GD it's his turn. Urium smirks at GD, teasing him for trying to act so cool and unbothered. She threatens to chuck the baby at him, making Gul absolutely panic at the thought. Urium smiles, admitting her main life goal has always been to make GD lose his cool. She actually tosses the baby into the air with a laugh, while Gul screams in absolute horror. GD effortlessly catches Joel, while Urium calls him boring and Gul calls her a psychopath. BOM giggles and suggests that since he's holding her, he should at least give her a head pat. GD gently pats her head, and the little baby dragon blushes and smiles with pure happiness. Snap! Gul quickly snaps a holographic photo of this extremely rare, wholesome moment. BOM pulls out a red rose and happily suggests they take a family photo together. BOM winks with a cute smile, while the other girls just look at her with complete confusion. GD stands there deadpan, holding the baby with a flower on its head, while having a rose behind his own ear. The girls giggle and spam photos, while GD just tells them to hurry up and press the button. Urium complains about taking such a cringy photo, but Gul tells her to stop being a party pooper. Gul flashes a $1 million smile at the lens and starts the countdown. Say cheese. It's a perfect group photo of their chaotic, beautiful little family. Later, little Joel is happily chugging down a warm bottle of milk. GD asks what the plan is, and BOM explains she needs to teach her to look human using magic transfer. Quick lesson. Magic transfer lets you flow your own mana into someone else to instantly teach them a spell. The student pays 0 price, but it literally eats away at the lifespan of the teacher. GD asks if she's sure about this, but she points out the baby can't exactly walk around as a dragon. She notes the others already learned this back home, but this newborn is starting from absolute scratch. Holding Jul up, she explains they grow fast, and she wants her to experience a fun childhood. GD offers to help, secretly wondering how she even knows such advanced magic in the first place. BOM asks for a favor, requesting him to stay right by her side during the process. She smiles warmly, and GD agrees, though he doesn't really get why he needs to be glued to her. She pats the couch, telling him not to be shy, but GD says he's perfectly fine where he is. She argues that she might pass out from exhaustion and drop the baby, so he has to be there to catch her. She dramatically sniffles, saying she'd never forgive herself if the baby fell, leaving him completely speechless. GD lets out a heavy sigh and finally sits down right next to her on the couch. BOM scoots even closer until their shoulders touch, blushing as she mutters that it's really hard. GD looks at her confused, and she instantly panics, lying that she was just talking about the couch cushion. Blushing like crazy, she holds the baby close and announces she is ready to begin the magic transfer. A few days pass and Bomb is completely wiped out on the couch, exhaling like her soul is leaving her body. GD walks up to her and the tiny blue dragon, giving her a well-deserved pat on the back for her hard work. Worn out, BOM drags herself up to go sleep, reminding GD to feed Jul and burp her. But mid-step, BOM freezes as a weird sensation takes over her body. Before she face-plants, GD catches her in a protective, swoon-worthy embrace. He looks at her with absolute calm, promising to carry her all the way to her room. Bomb instantly blushes like a tomato, her face burning from sheer embarrassment. She mumbles that being carried like this is super embarrassing, but GD just teases her for still having energy to complain. GD walks down the hallway holding her, casually mentioning she's light as a feather. He gently shuts the door after tucking her into bed for a peaceful sleep. Suddenly, he stops in his tracks as a massive wave of magical energy surges through the air. A blinding blue light floods the room while GD watches the crazy transformation unfold. The smoke clears to reveal Jul, who has turned into an adorable blue-haired little girl staring shyly at him. GD is completely speechless at the sudden cuteness overload and gives a nervous little wave. Cut to the Lair District Police Station, where GD is walking under the bright sun with his co-workers. The team leader waves a golden card, happily offering to buy GD and his partner whatever they want to eat. GD's partner immediately teases the boss about using the corporate card, making him laugh nervously. GD cuts the banter short, deadpanning that he has some urgent business and needs to clock out early today. His co-workers give him the ultimate suspicious look, teasingly asking if he finally got himself a girlfriend. GD coldly shuts them down as he walks away, leaving his partner screaming that they totally believe him. Over at a park, a dark-haired girl is talking through a hologram while GD's clone listens intently. The clone morphs into an exact copy of the girl, revealing itself as the shadow of the Grand Duke. We get a quick flashback of the terrifying Grand Duke of the Demon World sitting on his throne in dark armor. Turns out, after GD beat the Grand Duke and took his skill, it became his personal clone. The disguised clone walks through the park and spots the real GD sitting peacefully on a bench. She approaches him with deep respect, asking if her lord summoned her. GD turns around holding baby Jul in a carrier, completely breaking the clone's serious vibe. He calmly explains this is Jul, and they just got back from getting her a haircut since she's human now. Passers-by look at them with hearts in their eyes, whispering about what a perfect couple they make with their baby. The clone politely offers to hold Jul, but the baby dragon shoots her a lethal death glare. The clone completely freezes, traumatized by the pure menace in the toddler's eyes. GD tells her not to sweat it, letting Jul down to walk while the clone sits beside him. Jul squats on the grass to stare at a tiny worm, while the clone asks why they're even outside. GD explains that BOM is currently on strict bed rest due to the massive toll of the mana transfer. He adds that the other two dragons, Urium and Gul, are way too useless to trust with babysitting. The clone nods in agreement and asks what he actually wanted to discuss. GD looks at her seriously, telling her to stop playing dumb since all her feelings and memories sync with his. She looks down sadly, admitting that while she isn't complaining, she's starting to question her purpose. While Jul plays happily in front of them, The clone says her past masters never wanted a peaceful life like this. Cue a dark memory of GD absolutely obliterating an enemy on a desolate battlefield. In another memory, GD stands menacingly in a black cloak over a group of defeated, kneeling men. The girl explains with a sigh that a weapon like her struggles to comprehend this quiet, peaceful routine. GD looks at her with empathy, saying it makes sense since she does have her own consciousness after all. He stands up and orders her to keep working for now, even suggesting she go grab a drink with her co-workers. The girl is left stunned, visualizing her noisy police buddies with a small, nostalgic smile. She accepts the order and walks away, with GD watching her figure disappear into the park. GD then spots a mother buying a giant teddy bear for her kid, making the little girl jump with joy. Joel stares at the panda plushie, her eyes sparkling with pure, unadulterated envy. GD asks if she wants one and activates the Void's shallowest skill, reaching his hand into a dark portal. He pulls out a cute blue teddy bear, admitting it's a little different from the one she saw. Joel grabs the blue bear with absolute joy, hugging it tightly to her chest. She blushes furiously, her eyes shining like diamonds from pure happiness. GD looks at her curiously, asking if she actually likes the random gift. Joel immediately drops the bear on the grass and marches straight toward him, leaving him totally confused. GD picks her up and asks if she wants something else, saying he's fresh out of plushies. Joel reaches out her tiny hands and gently pats GD's cheek, capturing his full attention. She softly presses her forehead against his in a super sweet gesture under the warm sunlight. GD is stunned by the sudden affection, remembering how Bomb hugged Joel during the mana transfer. He realizes dragons might actually show their deep affection through physical skin contact. Flashbacks of GD's bloody and tragic past battles flash through his mind, filled with death and chaos. He closes his eyes as complex golden gears representing the flow of time spin in his head. GD stands still in the park holding Joel, with the blue teddy bear forgotten on the ground. Joel looks up at him, and GD lets out a rare, warm smile, feeling a strange peace in his heart. By sunset, GD is walking hand in hand with Joel as she happily drags her blue bear along. GD mutters something to himself with a thoughtful face, leaving Joel looking very confused. Suddenly, Joel appears in the distance carrying a guitar case, waving and shouting his name. She runs over and aggressively hugs Joel, excitedly babbling about her shopping trip. But as she hugs the toddler, Joel freezes, sensing something very unusual about her. She presses her forehead against Joel's to read her mind, realizing the kid is ecstatic about GD's gift. Watching this, GD finally confirms that dragons share their emotions directly through forehead touches. Joel smirks and teases him for finally finding something he didn't know, but GD spots something suspicious behind her. Joel proudly unzips her case and pulls out a shiny wooden acoustic guitar with a huge grin. She strikes a pose, asking GD if she doesn't look like a total rock star. She starts strumming violently, producing a horrific, ear-bleeding noise while GD and Joel stare deadpan. GD watches her in silence as a dark memory of Joel's past flashes in his mind. He remembers a tragic timeline where Joel was bleeding on the floor, surrounded by syringes and a broken guitar. GD recalls the overwhelming despair he felt seeing her in such a miserable state back then. Back in reality, Joel whines that her fingers hurt like crazy from playing. GD looks at her and softly tells her not to overdo it, leaving Joel completely shocked by his kindness. Joel pouts childishly, so GD changes the subject and asks if BOM is awake yet. Joel says BOM is still knocked out with a fever from the mana transfer as they walk home. GD asks where Yoriam is, and Joel nervously admits she's currently in a very complicated state. Cut to Yoriam locked in her pitch-black room, chugging beer and eating snacks while staring at the TV. The trio finally arrives home, but GD suddenly stops, sensing a dangerous presence inside. Joel happily walks ahead wondering if Bomb is awake, but GD firmly grabs her shoulder. With a dead serious expression, GD orders Joel to take Joel to her room immediately. Joel is confused by the sudden tension, but GD gives her a cold, terrifying glare that says, "Hurry up." Terrified, Joel nods frantically and runs to her room, clutching Joel. GD stands alone in the quiet hallway, staring intensely at Bomb's door before deciding to enter. He slowly opens the door, stepping inside with absolute caution as he prepares for a fight. Inside, a group of massive knights in glowing magical armor are surrounding Bomb's bed. The leader of the knights turns to GD, asking in a raspy, threatening voice if he did this to the green dragon. An illustration of the majestic guardian, the green dragon, explains how dragons use subjugation magic to control humans. It explains dragons turn their targets into loyal knights and slaves using magic collars to guard their nests. Some of these elite guardians even serve as personal bodyguards for newborn dragon hatchlings. GD looks at the sleeping Bomb, realizing these intruders cast a high-level sleeping spell on her. The lead knight stomps his foot violently, furiously demanding GD answer his question. He steps closer, releasing a heavy dark aura, warning GD that only the strong get to ask questions. The intruder activates his high-level barrier, Dark Clarity, flooding the room with a purple mist while GD analyzes it. The knight points his dark, flaming fist at GD, warning him this is his absolute last chance. He demands GD confess what he did to the green dragon, charging up a massive amount of power. GD calmly explains the blue dragon was just born, and Boem simply overexerted herself, teaching her to transform. The knight suspiciously asks who he is, and GD firmly replies that he's the dragon's guardian. The knight laughs in his face, asking if GD has any idea who he claims to be protecting. GD says he knows exactly who they are, asking how they crossed dimensions so fast when they were supposed to be scattered. The leader loses his mind at GD's knowledge, gripping his giant sword and declaring GD is no ordinary human. The knights draw their dark-infused weapons and surround GD, claiming he is a threat to their mission. They declare GD is too dangerous to be left alive, while GD calmly suggests they just talk this out. Ignoring his offer, the knights launch a coordinated attack, promising to make his death quick and painless. The leader unleashes a devastating downward slash with his giant sword, letting out a wild battle cry. GD effortlessly blocks the massive attack with one hand using a sword made of dark energy. The knight is completely dumbfounded that his Sword of Stallion was easily blocked by GD's formless sword. With a quick flick of his wrist, GD parries the massive blade, completely throwing the knight off balance. The leader crashes hard onto the floor, while his teammate insults him for getting wrecked in one hit. The remaining knights charge together, determined to slice GD into minced meat. The fallen leader desperately screams at them to stop, realizing GD is a literal monster. GD executes a lightning-fast circular slash, clean-cutting through all their armors in a blink. He stands perfectly still in the center of the room, surrounded by defeated knights and shattered armor. GD looks down coldly at the kneeling, bleeding leader who can't even stand up anymore. He slowly approaches the defeated knight, keeping an intimidating, dominant posture. The leader stares up in absolute terror, realizing he is facing a transcendent being far beyond his league. Left with no choice, the lead knight drops to his knees in complete submission and respect. GD disperses his energy sword and asks if they seriously thought they ruled this world. He demands to know how they survived since their home dimension was supposed to be destroyed. The knight fearfully explains they survived and ended up here due to a massive dimensional distortion. A flashback shows the majestic green dragon tearing open a flaming portal to connect their nest to Earth. But due to some anomaly, the dimension warped, throwing the knights out into the void. GD demands more details, and the knight mentions his master once spoke of the Horizon of Providence. He explains the distortion happens because of the insane power radiating from the Horizon of Providence. GD ponders this in silence, realizing he never once heard of this concept in any of his past regressions. It clicks in his head that this current timeline is becoming wildly different from all the previous ones. GD asks what the Horizon of Providence has to do with them landing exactly here. The knight reveals that a Supreme will beyond the Horizon of Providence actually guided their path. We see a flashback of the knight staring at a creepy black vortex in the middle of the blue dimensional flow. The knight explains this mysterious will showed him the exact coordinates to find the other guardians and the dragons. To verify this crazy story, GD firmly grabs the knight's helmeted head. He tilts the knight's face up, coldly ordering him to look him straight in the eyes. GD activates his overpowered ocular skill, Scales of Balance Eye, stolen from the Grand Duke. This special eye acts as a perfect lie detector, instantly confirming the knight is telling the absolute truth. GD sighs, realizing he prepared for every known threat, yet this unknown variable still popped up. A look of deep frustration crosses his face as he realizes the fate of this world is still changing. The knight adds that the hire will seemed incredibly pissed off, almost like it was cursing. He points to his chest, explaining he only felt that way because his core was made by the green dragon. Suddenly, GD grabs the knight's chest plate with a vice grip, startling him. With brute force, GD brutally rips the glowing core straight out of the knight's chest. GD stares at the glowing white core in his hand while the knight collapses, completely helpless. He activates his Grand Clock skill to analyze the distorted flow of time leaking from the core. The skill immediately detects hostile elements, showing absolute rejection toward anything deviating from the timeline. Glowing golden chains of energy wrap around the core, starting to reshape it before GD's eyes. The chains fuse together, turning the core into a beautiful golden hourglass to track temporal enemies. GD pockets the hourglass and tells the knight that since their subjugation is gone, they have no reason to stay. The knight stands up and nods, feeling his magical link to the green dragon completely vanish. GD coldly tells them they can leave, as long as they don't cause any trouble in his world. The Guardian Knights bow respectfully and prepare to make their exit, but the leader suddenly stops, firmly declaring that he cannot leave this house. He proudly states he is the guardian of history and causality, so he must fulfill his duty here. Before he can finish his speech, GD delivers a devastating punch that sends him crashing to the floor. GD plants his boot firmly on the knight's chest, asking with a freezing glare if he really wants to stay. He releases an overwhelming, suffocating dark pressure, making the knight shake in absolute terror. GD looks down with lifeless eyes, asking one last time if he's absolutely sure about this. The leader, completely crushed and suffocating under GD's boot, barely wheezes out that he can't leave. GD looks at the other knights, who sigh and explain their leader never listens to anyone. They complain their boss is too stubborn to accept the free pass he was just handed. GD sighs in defeat at the knight's sheer stubbornness and decides to roll with it. He summons a sharp dagger of dark energy, declaring the knight is indeed fit to be a guardian. With a quick strike, GD shatters the leader's helmet, sending metal pieces flying across the floor. The unmasked knight kneels, asking if GD was just testing them by letting the others go. GD says it wasn't a test, but he just found him to be a very unusual type of guardian. The knight says he simply can't abandon his loyalty, and GD replies that BOM is under his roof now. GD looks at him coldly, asking what a weakling like him could possibly do as a guardian. As the knight stays silent, GD smirks, saying he actually has the perfect job for him. GD gathers Gul, Yoriam, and baby Jewel in the living room, telling them to welcome a new member. He formally introduces the massive, armored knight as the new house janitor. The knight is left completely speechless and dying of embarrassment at his new title. Cut to the legendary knight washing dishes in the kitchen sink wearing bright pink rubber gloves. GD watches him from his desk, mockingly asking if he isn't enjoying his new position. The knight turns around outraged, asking what washing dishes has to do with protecting dragons. GD gives him a terrifying glare, warning him he'll erase him if the house isn't spotless. The knight goes back to scrubbing in defeat, crying inside over his humiliating new life. BOM walks into the kitchen fully recovered, warmly greeting the knight and asking if he's from Escalifa. She smiles sweetly, assuring him she's feeling much better after her little fever. The knight stands straight with deep respect as BOM mentions she heard he's the new janitor. BOM checks him out and happily tells him the pink apron looks great on him, catching him off guard. Staring with her glowing green eyes, she warmly tells him she looks forward to working with him. The knight is deeply moved by her kindness, his face blushing red inside his metal helmet. Filled with absolute loyalty, he vows to protect her hands and wash everything perfectly, immediately breaking a plate. BOM looks at the shattered pieces on the floor with a sweat drop, mentioning that plate was actually super expensive. Gul shows off 3 adorable photos of Jul in different outfits: a bear suit, a school uniform, and a gothic dress. Gul takes the photos on her holoscreen, squealing at how ridiculously cute Jul looks. In the living room, BOM styles Jul's hair while Gul watches, GD rests, and the knight sweeps the floor. Jul looks at the camera blushing, looking absolutely adorable in her gothic dress and red bows. Gul excitedly asks the knight which of the outfits he thinks suits Jul best. The knight politely responds that every single dress looks perfect on her, making Gul praise his smooth words. GD notices Gul's bandaged fingers and asks if she's still practicing her trash guitar skills. Gul panics, but BOM quickly jumps in to defend her, saying Gul is really passionate about music. GD changes the subject, asking if Yuriam is still locked in her room binge-watching dramas. The janitor chimes in, complaining he tried to clean her room but got violently kicked out. We see a flashback of a messy Yuriam with dark circles screaming at him to get out. As BOM explains, she hasn't slept. GD walks over to Yuriam's door and slowly cracks it open with a look of pure disappointment. He stares at the absolute disaster zone, filled with empty beer cans, trash, and cigarette butts. Yuriam, munching on snacks, looks at him lazily as GD deadpans he just came to check if she was still alive. GD looks at the TV playing a medieval night drama, asking if she's really been watching this trash all day. Yuriam complains it has 7 seasons, but the plot is garbage and the historical accuracy is non-existent. GD looks at her like she's stupid, suggesting she should just turn it off if she hates it so much. He turns around and orders her to get her butt out of bed because he has a major announcement. GD gathers all the dragons in the living room while holding Jul, declaring today is deep cleaning day. The dragons and the janitor freeze in absolute horror, groaning on the couch at the sudden chore list. GD explains that even if they aren't human, they need to learn to live like them, especially Yuriam and Gul. Yuriam and Gul whine in protest, accusing him of violating their human rights by entering their rooms. GD shuts Gul down by asking if her mother ever taught her how to clean, making her scream in pure shame. He ends the debate, ordering them to leave the living room to the janitor and go scrub their own trash cans. Yuriam lazily complains that cleaning is pointless when they have a slave, while Gul looks at her with disgust. Yuriam suddenly flicks a booger right onto Gul's cheek, making her scream in absolute horror. Gul cries dramatically about how much she hates dirty things, while GD keeps telling Yuriam to clean up. Yuriam ignores him, telling the janitor to clean her room while she escapes to the gym to train. Bomb happily gets up from the couch, announcing she's going out to buy ingredients for a special dinner. GD instantly shivers in absolute terror, remembering the biological weapon that is Bomb's cooking. BOM notices his pale face and asks if he has any requests, to which GD nervously tells her to have a safe trip. The night janitor finally enters Yuriam's room armed with a broom and dustpan, ready for battle. He puts on a face mask and cries internally, realizing this room smells worse than the deepest pits of hell. Our resident armored janitor is on trash duty, picking up cigarette butts and empty cans. GD's clone stands there in a sharp black suit, judging his cleaning skills with absolute silence. He literally starts lecturing a mythical knight on the importance of recycling plastic and cans properly. The knight just sweated, sensing a terrifying demonic aura radiating from this absolute neat freak. With one cold glare, the knight surrenders, thinking this clone is just as tyrannical as the original. Suddenly, the real GD pops his head in, wondering what kind of circus they are running here. The clone proudly claims he was just mentoring, while the knight literally shakes with suppressed rage. GD just sighs and orders his own clone to grab a broom, leaving the clone absolutely flabbergasted. Meanwhile, Yuriam is busy grinding at the gym, pumping iron like her life depends on it. Over at the grocery store, BOM is peacefully picking out the freshest apples for the family. And Gul is fighting for her life, trying to cram her overflowing stuffed animals into the closet. Back in the room, the clone and the knight are now a dynamic duo, scrubbing the floor together. After a job well done, the clone reports back to his creator with a polite bow. GD slides a laptop over, ready to hand down a brand new top-secret mission. The screen locks onto Moscow, revealing the dark, illegal experiments of the Invisibility Organization. The clone nods solemnly, fully prepared to pack his bags and head straight into the freezing cold. His target? A high-ranking demonic commander known only as Prototype X. He nods once more, ready to execute the mission without a single moment of hesitation. Right then, BOM walks through the front door, singing out a cheerful hello to the house. She carries in the groceries while Gul, Joel, and our armored janitor welcome her back. The clone tries to sneak out for his mission, but GD grabs his shoulder with a firm grip. He looks his clone dead in the eye and demands they swap outfits right this second. Because on the dining table sits a dish so toxic it is literally glowing with a purple aura. The entire family happily sits down, ready to dig into this steaming biohazard of a meal. Staring at his plate, the clone finally realizes why his creator wanted to swap places. Meanwhile, the real GD is already outside, walking away under the peaceful moonlight. He arrives at a creepy, abandoned industrial complex just a short distance from their shelter. Inside, a dark room is littered with lifeless bodies scattered across a blood-soaked floor. A fanged demonic human, covered in blood, screams out in absolute, unhinged fury. But GD already has him pinned to the wall with a glowing blue blade. The cornered trash starts barking threats, boasting about the powerful bosses backing him up. GD doesn't care, slamming him face first into the concrete with one swift swipe. Grabbing his hair, GD identifies him as Waifus, a corrupt teacher from the Blue Dragon Academy. He coldly demands to know what kind of twisted schemes this fake educator is cooking up. GD activates his cheat code skill, Scales of Balance, as a golden scale glows in his eye. Terrified, Waifus squeals that succeeding in 3 months would grant him a spot on the seats. A helpful system screen explains that the seats are the 4 elite leaders of invisibility. Climbing to the seats grants these monsters the ultimate right to command their own armies. We are talking about pure, unadulterated power on the level of a literal world disaster. GD ponders, remembering that this clown never actually made it to the seats in past timelines. GD summons his Grand Clock Authority, manifesting a majestic golden hourglass in the air. The skill scans for timeline anomalies, locking its target straight onto the trembling Waifus. The system warns that a foreign entity rejecting regression has meddled with this world. Turns out, Waifus is packing stolen traits from past lives, showing a buff, long-haired silhouette. GD realizes this mysterious entity is actively trying to mess with everything he does. Waifus begs like a dog, promising to act as a double agent if GD just spares him. He even pulls the classic sick mother excuse, crying fake tears to gain some pity. GD doesn't buy the drama, slicing his head clean off in one brutal, merciless swing. He points at the fresh corpse, coldly stating that cheap lies don't work on him. With a simple snap of his fingers, he triggers destruction, blowing the entire building to pieces. Later, GD takes a stroll in the park, calculating how deep this conspiracy actually goes. He recalls a long-haired man asking Urium to represent the Academy in the year-end festival. He spots a group of random ladies crowding around Joel on a park bench. Joel is sitting there, hugging her blue teddy bear with an adorable, grumpy pout. The ladies coo over her hair, asking her how old she is in high-pitched baby voices. BOM notices GD walking over and waves happily, startling the crowd of swooning ladies. GD unleashes his ultimate resting scowl face, sending the women running away with apologies. With the crowd gone, GD and Bomb sit together under the beautiful, falling cherry blossoms. He asks BOM why she's out here babysitting instead of taking a well-deserved nap. Nearby, Joel wanders near a fountain, accidentally dropping her blue plushie on the dirt. BOM smiles warmly, mentioning that moments like this make them feel like a real, normal family. She jokes about being the mom and Joel being their daughter, while the kid stares at the water. She keeps talking with a soft, gentle gaze, and GD just listens to her in silence. GD stares a bit too long, making Bomb blush and break into a shy, nervous chuckle. She playfully nudges his shoulder, giggling that he shouldn't take her jokes so seriously. GD carries Joel in his arms as they head back, leaving BOM watching with a nostalgic smile. Soon, we get a gorgeous aerial shot of the academy under a shower of pink cherry blossoms. Gul is hyped out of her mind, rocking her school uniform with a slice of toast in her mouth. She is literally vibrating with joy because she finally gets to experience real school life. BOM and Gul walk side by side, looking sharp in their blue and gray school uniforms. BOM asks her why she's biting that toast when she literally just ate a massive breakfast. Gul just gives her a smug, mysterious grin, refusing to let go of the bread. She remembers a legendary tip from Escalifa about running into your fated lover with toast. She's already daydreaming about a cinematic, romantic collision with her destined soulmate. Instead, she crashes face-first straight into Yoriam's rock-hard chest. Yoriam smirks, asking if this painful crash officially makes them destined lovers. She snatches the toast right out of Gul's mouth and eats it, leaving the blonde utterly betrayed. Wiping her mouth, Yoriam wonders aloud where GD has been sneaking off to all morning. She jokes that he might be on a secret date, which instantly makes Bomb sweat bullets. BOM starts stuttering and frantically denying it, while Gul looks at her like she's crazy. At the academy gates, a massive horde of reporters is camped out with flashing cameras. The girls freeze as the media sharks hunt for the academy's rising freshman stars. The crowd starts whispering, instantly recognizing Yoriam as the beast who thrashed Sophia. Yoriam remembers a viral article criticizing her absolute lack of manners toward the press. Instantly, the reporters swarm her, begging for a quote and shoving lenses in her face. Yoriam's eye twitches in pure irritation, while Gul cowers in fear behind her back. Completely snapping, Yoriam roars at the top of her lungs for everyone to shut up. The crowd goes dead silent, and she calmly offers to answer their questions one by one. She smirks defiantly, beckoning them forward while calling them a bunch of third-rate amateurs. Back at home, little Joel is sitting on the floor, quietly clutching her blue bear. Our armored knight is sweating buckets, completely terrified of babysitting duty. GD, looking sharp in his suit, tells the knight to guard her with his life. The knight cries internally, realizing a toddler is way more dangerous than a demon. Joel gives him a side eye that could literally freeze hell itself. The knight bows politely, suggesting she move to a much softer, comfier spot. She completely ignores him, turning her head away with absolute, brutal indifference. The silence is so heavy the knight's armor is practically shaking from the tension. To break the ice, he decides to do what he does best, aggressively cleaning. He spots some colorful toys scattered across the living room rug. He approaches her with a colorful picture book, offering to read it together. He kneels down, placing the storybook right in front of her tiny face. Joel's eyes instantly light up with pure, unadulterated excitement. Seeing his chance, the relieved knight happily offers to read the story aloud. The cover reads, "My Dad is a Fairy," featuring a cute girl and her winged father. The first page shows a cozy little cottage nestled under a bright, happy sun. But the knight's brain immediately visualizes a brutal, pre-demon-era forest filled with giant snakes. The book shows the main characters, Dalsun and her dad, walking hand in hand. The knight imagines them as hypermuscular gladiators standing over the graves of their enemies. The page shows the dad telling Dalsun sweet bedtime stories before she sleeps. The knight assumes these bedtime stories were definitely about bloody, savage clan wars. He looks at Joel, deciding that the kid in the book was definitely a bloodthirsty war fan. Next, Dalsun wakes up sad because her dad is nowhere to be found. The knight's wild imagination assumes the dad went to pillage and kidnap a new wife. He literally pictures a crying woman being dragged away from a burning village. He tells Joel that Dalsun must have been thrilled to get a brand new stepmom. Joel glares at him with a dark, terrifying look of absolute, soul-crushing disappointment. Shaking in fear, he asks what's wrong as she slowly points her tiny finger. She points to the corner of the room with the authority of an absolute monarch. And that's how the legendary knight ended up in timeout while Joel reads in peace. Meanwhile, a sleek black luxury car pulls up to the academy entrance. Out steps Gong Jihee, the rich heiress of the prestigious Gong sword clan, with her bodyguard. She complains about makeup, whining that sword practice ruins her perfect skin. She stops in her tracks when she notices the massive crowd of reporters ahead. She tells her assistant to handle them, but he awkwardly reveals they aren't here for her. Annoyed, she pushes her way through the cameras to see who stole her spotlight. Her jaw literally drops to the floor at the ridiculous sight before her eyes. Urium is casually sitting on a male student's back like he's a premium leather chair. Gul approaches, totally baffled by how she turned a classmate into furniture. The shaking simp smiles, claiming it is an absolute honor to serve as queen. A reporter steps up, politely asking if they can officially start the interview. Urium instantly cuts off a Taiwanese reporter for talking too much, calling for the next one. A French reporter asks about the fame, and she bluntly replies that it absolutely sucks. She laughs off questions about her fan club while still lounging on her human chair. Then, a slimy, sweaty reporter named Park Gango tries to bait her with a trap question. Urium looks at his sweat with pure disgust, firing back with a savage insult. Gango keeps smirking, pushing her to explain her controversial words in detail. He flashes a disgusting, fake smile, trying to corner the hot-headed student. Urium leans in with a wicked grin, asking if he's trying to hit on her. Her eyes glow coldly as she asks why he's crying over a simple joke. The reporter scoffs, claiming he's just doing his duty as a proud journalist. Urium grabs him by the collar, ready to throw hands while Gul panics. The bait worked, and the reporter is already celebrating the massive views this scandal will get. He warns her that a single article could completely ruin her reputation at the school. That's it, Urium swings a massive punch straight at his smug face. But out of nowhere, GD catches her fist with a single hand. Gul lets out a massive sigh of relief, thankful that murder was avoided today. Urium screams, pointing at the reporter and trying to justify her violent urges. Without saying a word, GD throws her over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. She kicks and beats his back, screaming at him to put her down right now. GD stops, giving the reporters one final, chilling warning to keep their mouths shut. He unleashes a crushing blue aura that freezes the entire crowd in raw terror. The concrete literally cracks under his feet, leaving the media shaking in their boots. He casually tells Gul to get to class so she isn't late on day one. Jaehee and her bodyguard watch them leave, completely stunned by this absolute monster. Jaehee randomly comments on how huge Gul's chest is, leaving her guard speechless. In class, Professor Kai stands at the front, holding a wooden training sword. GD and Urium sit side by side, suffering through the most boring lecture ever. She claims she can survive this because she has sat through terrible romance K-dramas before. But her real goal is simple: get strong enough to crush the hooded knight. She rolls her eyes, telling GD to go bother someone else instead of clinging to her. She claims she's an angel, but GD quickly reminds her of the near murder outside. She lazily leans her head on his shoulder, but he just tells her she's too hot. She smirks, teasingly asking if the mighty GD is actually getting flustered by a girl. She slumps onto her desk, groaning about how agonizingly dull school life is. She stares at him, complaining that her kidnapper should at least be somewhat entertaining. Her mind drifts back to the day they met on a desolate, ruined battlefield. She remembers being chained and bloody, expecting a life filled with thrill and chaos. Instead, she got dragged into playing happy family with a bunch of weirdos. She stands up, declaring she only lives for bloodshed, battle, and ultimate glory. Suddenly, Professor Kai spawns right behind her, his eye glowing with a creepy green light. He calmly hands both her and GD detention after class for disrupting the lesson. Now, she's sitting on the floor with a wooden sword, completely miserable. She screams in frustration as she is forced to wipe down every single wooden sword. She whines that they should have summoned the armored knight since he loves cleaning. GD notes the knight is busy babysitting, prompting her to ask about his own childhood. She laughs at his lack of schooling, but he simply replies he was busy fighting wars. Chomping on a lollipop, she asks if he's trying to play cool with her again. She asks if he actually finds this peaceful life fun, and GD bluntly says no. She wonders why someone so ridiculously overpowered lives such a boring existence. GD looks at her, stating he lives because life goes on, and he cannot stop. She laughs, calling it an edgy teen response, but he just tells her to keep scrubbing. Back home, The night cleans while Urium struggles with a Rubik's Cube and BOM watches Joel. Urium aggressively twists the cube, her brain slowly melting from the puzzle. The armored knight keeps hovering around her, sweeping the floor like a hyperactive Roomba. Snapping, she chucks the Rubik's Cube straight at his helmet, telling him to get lost. She faceplants onto the couch, and BOM asks if the reporters ruined her mood. She sighs, admitting she's just dying for a real, blood-pumping fight. She randomly calls BOM by her first name, shocking the green-haired girl to her core. BOM panics, asking if she has a fever or needs to be rushed to the ER. Urium sits up, dead serious, and asks BOM what her actual reason for living is. BOM whispers to Joel that Urium is going through puberty, instantly triggering the redhead. Urium explains she asked GD the same thing to see what drives him. She repeats GD's deep words, which instantly makes Bomb blush and melt with affection. Urium rolls her eyes, complaining that GD has absolutely no idea how to enjoy life. She points out Gul, who is perfectly happy as long as she is fried chicken, and Joel, who is completely satisfied with her battered, old teddy bear. BOM shyly suggests that maybe GD has some secret hobby they don't know about. Urium groans, saying BOM and GD are both boring and impossible to read. BOM asks if there's really nothing Urium enjoys about their current daily life. BOM beams with excitement, admitting there is one thing she absolutely loves about GD. She asks if she knew GD is actually super shy, making Urium gag in disgust. Urium calls him a psychopath, but Bomb's mind is already drifting back to the park. She smiles warmly, remembering GD's surprisingly adorable, flustered reactions. Urium gets literal chills, horrified by Bomb's starry-eyed, lovesick expression. She tackles BOM to the floor, tickling her while Joel watches the chaos unfold. Suddenly, Gul storms down the stairs, screaming about massive news on the school forums. With eyes wide, she announces that Urium officially has her own online fan club. Urium keeps tickling BOM, casually asking for details about this new cult following. Gul blushes, covering her face and telling them to resume their floor wrestling in private. The next morning, GD is in his room, buttoning up a clean white shirt. BOM slowly creaks the door open, wanting to ask him a quick question. She gets a full view of his absolutely shredded, muscular chest in the mirror. She slams the door shut, her face turning redder than a ripe tomato. Blushing in her uniform, she shyly asks if he can walk her to school today. Adjusting his tie, GD asks why she's suddenly making such a weird request. BOM pouts, complaining that he has never taken her out on a one-on-one date. GD instantly flashbacks to the chaos of going out with the other wild girls. The other girls pop up eating sandwiches, and Bomb proudly announces she's asking him out. Gul chokes on her food in shock, while Urium assumes he's just going as a guardian. Gul chews thoughtfully, asking if he's officially playing favorites with BOM now. Gul happily munches her sandwich, totally agreeing that favoritism is the absolute worst. Meanwhile, Gul's mom is living her best life in a fantasy world surrounded by 100 handsome dudes. GD walks with green-haired BOM, wondering if he's just another soon-to-be-abandoned guy on her list. BOM glares at our MC, complaining that he snatched her first but now treats her like a forgotten fish. Bomb faceplants onto the floor in pure despair while Gul yells at GD for being a cold-hearted jerk. Urium crosses her arms and tells him they won't cause trouble, so he can leave them alone already. BOM sneaks up behind Gul with a cheeky wink, hugging her tight to accept their sad reality. We get a massive aerial view of a futuristic stadium packed with students ready for their ceremony. BOM rocks her gym uniform and ponytail, making everyone whisper about her being Urium's famous sister. Two girls in the crowd gossip about how gorgeous she is and how she aced the entrance interview. GD overhears the crowd talking trash about the U family name, calling it totally tacky. A cheerful blonde instructor wraps up the boring theory class and announces it's time for ballroom dancing. The students groan in agony at the thought of dancing while the teacher watches them like a hawk. An elegant illustration of a dancing couple pops up as the teacher explains social etiquette for superhumans. She laughs, warning them that looking clumsy at formal events is the ultimate social death. Everyone starts pairing up awkwardly while the teacher tells them to shoot their shot with their crush. Two guys are absolutely shocked to see that the gorgeous BOM is still standing all by herself. They whisper that she has this mysterious, untouchable vibe that keeps everyone at a distance. The instructor approaches BOM, pointing out she's the only loner left, but BOM just giggles. Hyped by Bom's beauty, the teacher offers to dance with her, but BOM quickly cuts her off. BOM points right at our MC, who is sitting stiffly in his suit, and asks if she can dance with him. The teacher enthusiastically agrees, and BOM immediately zooms straight toward GD. BOM beams with joy, holding out her hand to invite him to the dance floor. GD coldly says he doesn't dance, but BOM hits him with those puppy eyes, begging him not to abandon her. The instructor guides the couples, telling everyone to hold hands and feel the rhythm. GD stands frozen in front of BOM, looking stiffer than a statue and completely lost. BOM looks down and notices GD's hand is actually trembling with pure nervousness. She smirks, teasingly asking if he's too shy to touch her, which he quickly denies. BOM grabs his hands firmly, telling him there's absolutely nothing to worry about. She cheerfully reassures him that holding hands won't instantly read his mind, making GD sigh in relief. But her face suddenly goes dark, warning him not to slack off because her grades are on the line. She takes a bold step forward, her white sneakers landing right next to his black dress shoes. Cue a magical sequence of them dancing gracefully together amidst floating flowers and musical notes. BOM clings to his chest with a smile, secretly thinking his hands are incredibly sweaty. She asks if he's so nervous that he's sweating everywhere else, while cold sweat drips down GD's neck. Suddenly, BOM remembers a vision of GD with his shirt open, exposing his shredded chest, and blushes hard. BOM trips over her own feet, but GD catches her by the waist in a split second. They lock eyes up close, their hearts beating like crazy in absolute silence. GD holds her steady and calmly points out that she has a massive nosebleed. Cut to Bomb sitting at a cafe, sipping grapefruit juice with a giant cotton ball stuffed up her nose. GD suggests going to a hospital, but Bomb proudly claims that dragons don't need doctors. GD asks why her nose bled without even falling, making her turn red and scream at him. BOM praises his dancing skills, asking if he actually took lessons in the past. GD goes quiet, suddenly remembering a distant memory of practicing dance steps. In his memory, a smiling girl with scars on her face cheers him on, saying he'll get better soon. GD turns his back and lies that he never learned to dance, leaving BOM in deep thought. BOM pulls the cotton out of her nose and asks if he's free after school. She ties her hair back with a radiant smile, suggesting they go do something fun. The scene shifts to a snowy castle in Moscow, the secret research facility of the demonic humans. Red alarms blare through a dark hallway covered in the bloody corpses of demonic soldiers. A demonic human with pointy ears runs for his life, screaming about some unstoppable monster. He frantically mashes the control panel, realizing their forces are getting absolutely obliterated. He sprints toward a massive metal door, desperately trying to escape and warn headquarters. Suddenly, a massive, terrifying shadow looms behind him, asking why he's in such a rush. The demon spins around trembling, asking the shadow what the hell it wants. GD's clone reveals his glowing blue eyes, demanding the location of the commander class, Type X. The demon screams that he'd rather die than talk, only to get slammed instantly. The clone lifts him by the throat, stating he knows exactly how these monsters act when they die. He explains that when the pain is too much, they squirm like puppets with their strings cut. Holding the demon under the full moon, the clone coldly asks if he wants to dance too. The clone stands victorious over the bloody demon, calling his master to report. He informs GD that Type X has already been sent to the invisibility headquarters. We see the silhouette of a chained woman underwater, as the clone notes Type X is a female this time. GD asks if the head researcher was named Vera, and the clone confirms it. GD orders his clone to disguise himself as Vera to infiltrate the facility and find X. The clone accepts the mission while GD sits in a clothing store, rubbing his temple. GD deeply ponders the threat of the transcendent commander-class demon, Prototype X. We see an illustration of a colossal winged monster destroying a city, a beast that links demonic minds. GD always made sure to kill Prototype X in past regressions, but this timeline is completely different. GD activates his Grand Clock ability, holding a glowing hourglass to track the timeline anomaly. His eyes glow with the reflection of the hourglass as the scan tracks down the hidden malice. GD clenches his fist, swearing to destroy anything that threatens his peaceful daily life. Suddenly, BOM breaks his train of thought, calling out to him from behind a fitting room curtain. GD turns around, completely caught off guard by her voice. BOM peeks out of the curtain wearing an incredibly tiny black bikini, asking how she looks. GD immediately looks away in annoyance, asking what the hell she is doing. BOM playfully invites him inside the fitting room, but GD scolds her for the stupid joke. She smirks, teasingly asking if he's having some naughty adult thoughts right now. As they walk through the mall, BOM keeps teasing him to admit he wanted a peek. GD tells her to cut the crap so they can go home, while BOM hums about wanting that bikini. BOM then reveals she actually came to the mall to buy gifts for the kids, surprising him. A flashback shows adorable little Jewel hugging her incredibly torn and battered blue teddy bear. BOM says she wants to buy Jewel a new plushie, and GD asks what she's getting the others. BOM says Gul only cares about fashion, so a stylish wallet will keep her happy. When GD asks about Yoriam, BOM remembers her asking for something highly questionable from a movie. BOM tasks GD with picking Jewel's gift while she grabs the stuff for the other two. GD wanders into a toy store called Toy and Toy, immediately catching the cashier's eye. The cashier checks him out, thinking his insane physique makes him look like a top model. She notices him holding a teddy bear, looking completely clueless about baby toys. The cashier smirks, knowing rich, clueless guys are the easiest targets to scam. She approaches him with a sweet smile, asking the age of the kid he's shopping for. She clasps her hands, squealing that 4 is a lovely age, and asks if it's for his daughter. GD says it's not his kid, so the cashier assumes he's just a sweet uncle. She playfully tells him he lacks toy shopping common sense and pulls out a pink toy stethoscope. She presses the toy stethoscope against GD's chest, claiming doctor playsets are way better. She offers him a 10% discount if he buys the set, leaving GD holding plastic scissors. GD instantly imagines a tiny Jewel dressed as a nurse holding a giant needle. GD falls for the trap and buys it, while the cashier celebrates her easy commission. GD ends up carrying a mountain of gift boxes while the cashier reassures him it's a great buy. She asks if he's paying with card, and GD reaches into his pocket. The cashier's jaw literally drops when GD pulls out an ultra-exclusive black VIP card. She stares at him with hearts in her eyes, wondering if she should shoot her shot with this rich hunk. Blushing hard, she nervously asks him if he has a girlfriend. Suddenly, BOM appears out of nowhere, grabbing GD's arm and complaining about the mountain of toys. The cashier notices Bomb's school uniform and wonders if she's his annoying little sister. She assumes she's safe, but Bomb glares at her with eyes that could really kill. The cashier tries to defend the doctor's set, but BOM coldly cuts her off. BOM smiles like a sleep paralysis demon, repeating that Jewel won't like those toys. BOM grabs the classic brown teddy bear instead, declaring it the perfect choice. She explains that this bear looks just like Jewel's old one, so she won't be confused. BOM hugs the plushie sweetly, asking if this one also gets the VIP discount. Back home, Jewel, Yoriam, and Gul stare in absolute awe at the massive pile of gifts. Jewel's eyes sparkle as she spots the brand new teddy bear with a blue ribbon. Gul jumps for joy with her new wallet, while Yoriam holds her gift with a smirk. Gul curiously asks Yoriam what kind of gift she received. Yoriam flashes a wild grin, pulling out handcuffs and a black leather whip, calling it an adult toy. She advances on Gul with a predatory look, wanting to test her new gear on her. Gul screams in terror, while Jewel happily hugs her new bear next to GD. BOM approaches GD with a small gray box, smiling about a special present just for him. GD opens it to find a sleek, high-quality dark blue silk tie. Bomb promises she'll buy him a whole suit once she starts making her own money. GD thanks her and asks why she didn't buy anything for herself. BOM just smiles mysteriously when he asks what she bought. Inside her closet, the sexy black bikini hangs, waiting for the perfect moment. A time skip card appears, showing the futuristic city weeks later as a knight opens a door. The night concierge enters GD's room, asking if he called for him. GD tells him he'll be gone for 3 days and asks him to babysit Joel. GD confirms he's going far away with a deadly serious look. He mentions Urium is coming along, while she sleeps like a log next to her whip. A massive purple portal crackles to life in a room full of eager students. 2 students stare at the swirling energy, nervous that the big test has finally arrived. Everyone watches in awe as the combat simulation against demonic humans begins. The simulation is a brutal 3-day survival test inside a virtual dungeon. Students operate in squads of 3 while their operators guide them via holographic screens. The instructor explains that this is how real-world superhuman raid squads operate. GD puts on his headset, ready to be the tactical operator for his team. Urium squats down, laughing at all the wimpy students trembling in fear. GD warns her to wipe that smirk off her face because this test is no joke. He reminds her she can't solo this and needs a 3-man squad to pass. A shy freckled boy and a purple-haired girl nervously approach Urium to ask to join. Urium barks at them to get lost, but GD calmly asks for their names. The freckled boy introduces himself as Hisaki Sojiro, shaking in his boots. The purple-haired girl calmly introduces herself as Kim Jin. They bow respectfully, promising not to be dead weight, while Urium screams at them to beat it. GD casually accepts them into the squad, making Urium lose her absolute mind. GD coldly tells her she can find another team if she doesn't like it. Urium threatens to murder them if they get in her way, terrifying poor Sojiro. Suddenly, some arrogant jerk slaps Sojiro hard on the back of his head. The brown-haired bully glares down, asking Sojiro if he forgot his warning to stay away. Sojiro apologizes on the floor while Jin watches with a tense, worried expression. The bully mocks Jin, asking if she has anything to say since her boyfriend already apologized. The jerk violently grabs Jin by the hair, demanding she speak up. Another student warns Johnny to chill since the instructors are watching, but Johnny doesn't care about orphans. Johnny yanks Jin's hair, telling her to show her face, while she screams at him to let go. Johnny laughs at her, but Urium suddenly appears right next to him with a freezing glare. Johnny freezes instantly, realizing he just provoked the most dangerous psycho in school. He remembers his family elders warning him to never, ever cross paths with Urium. Johnny tries to laugh it off, nervously explaining that orphans are just students without sponsors. He scoffs, calling them worthless trash with zero backing or money. Urium sighs in annoyance, complaining about being teamed up with actual beggars. Johnny gets cocky, suggesting Urium ditch those losers and join his elite squad instead. His own teammates gasp, shocked that he's trying to replace one of them. Johnny smirks, thinking befriending Urium will bring him massive clout. He thinks she's just like him and that he can easily manipulate her crazy personality. Without warning, Urium lands a brutal, bone-shattering punch right to Johnny's face. The entire room goes dead silent as everyone stares in absolute horror. Johnny clutches his bleeding nose, screaming if she's lost her damn mind. Urium brushes off her shoulder, asking who gave him permission to speak to her. Johnny completely loses it, calling her a crazy bitch and swearing vengeance. Urium screams back, promising to end his life if she ever sees his face again. Urium growls in pure rage while her 2 new teammates shake in absolute terror. The instructor steps up to the portal, calling for everyone's attention. Professor Quan Jaitai scratches his ear lazily, ready to explain the simple rules. He explains that 50 teams will spawn at completely different starting points. A blue hologram shows that kills, damage, and survival time convert to real-time points. It notes that if a student dies, they'll respawn in 3 hours somewhere else. The screen reveals the entrance to a dark, creepy virtual dungeon called Ant Nest. The professor wishes them luck as the students listen with dead serious faces. Urium's squad spawns inside the rocky, glowing virtual cavern. Urium grins, ready to smash everything, but Jin asks if they have a radar. Urium shrugs, saying they'll just run around until they find someone to beat up. Jin warns her that they can't match her insane speed and will get ambushed. Ji-in insists they need a tactical plan, but Urium tells her to just shut up and follow. Ji-in glares back, reminding her this is a team game, while Sojiro desperately tries to play peacemaker. GD chimes in over the comms, asking Urium if she has a target count in mind. He asks which poor squad she wants to backstab first. Ji-in complains that operators will spot them, but Urium doesn't care about stealth. Urium unsheathes her sword with a wicked smile, declaring she's going to slaughter everyone. Elsewhere, Johnny is still whining while fixing his bandaged nose. His teammates mock him, saying that's what he gets for trying to flex on a monster. One teammate asks if he really meant to replace them, and Johnny nervously says he was just joking. Johnny rants that if he sees Urium in this cave, he's going to tear her apart. A chilling voice whispers right into his ear, asking him to try. Urium drops from the ceiling like a demon, sword ready to slice him to pieces. She flashes a terrifying, razor-sharp grin, daring him to make his move. She unleashes a devastating strike, instantly dropping Johnny's HP from 100 to 17. With one massive spin, she blows the entire enemy squad away in a storm of dust. The enemy operator screams in panic through the comms, telling his team to regroup. Urium picks up her sword, coldly mocking them for calling this a battle. With glowing red eyes, she grins, declaring this is just a one-sided slaughter of puppies.